It's a Sunday afternoon. I really don't expect a big crowd. I really don't need a big crowd to say what I need to say. Sorry, I had to go on mute. There's people talking. Can y'all hear me? Can somebody put a 1 in the chat if they can hear me? Hey, Purple Iris. Hey, Moonchild Pink. Okay, good. Hey, Chic or Chick. Hey, Sage. Well, guys, I'm learning tough lessons. I blindly followed people on this platform, defended them when I've known they've done wrong. Not defended them when they've done wrong, but defended them when I felt like they were done wrong. Supported them financially, what have you, just to find out, hey, Randa, that I really don't know who I'm supporting at all. I mean, but I do appreciate the fact that I am getting to the point that I'm figuring it out. Hey, Glock Loaded, I'm glad you're here because you're pretty familiar with some of the people that I'm going to address. Maybe not be familiar with some of the situations. Hello, deplorable chicken hen. So, I kind of left my community, the drama, true crime, because of all the real life bullshit, people foiling each other, calling CPS on each other, what have you. And I found my way over to Keemstar's University, LCU, LolcowLive. And I found my way over there back when it was just, I've explained this before. Hey, Crystal. But back when it was like Keen, Boogie, Wings, Tommy C. But right about the time that Tommy C left, or whatever the circumstance are. And I thought, okay, it's just some dude sitting around chatting. No, Savage won't be next, deplorable chicken. And I'm going to get to that. Crystal Langford. So, whatever. I found my way over to the LCU. And then I found particular people that I found entertaining, that I find entertaining in the LCU. One of them being Becky Boop. And I still find Becky entertaining. So, when the alleged split from the LCU happened, Becky left, Roxy left. I found myself over there supporting them because I saw the shit that was done to them in the LCU, you know? And, you know, as I've said many a times, I don't support Savage um, because of what she did to me a long time ago and dipped into my real life for no reason because I was fighting with a friend of hers, but whatever. But when Becky brought her on, I was like, okay, I'm not going to go in the chats. I'm not going to start, shit because I got beef with Savage. I'm going to continue to support him financially. You know, yeah, I talk some shit in the Discord, but, I never disrupted the chat with my feelings about Savage or whatever. Even Savage said on live when my dono would come in, oh, she hates me. I can't stand that bitch either. Okay, cool. We both agree on that. No problem. So Becky's building this alternative universe. Okay. And if you'll remember back, Keemstar said he wanted, hey, Watcher, Keemstar said he wanted an alternative universe. Becky's made it clear that she stays in contact with Keemstar. She's never lied about that part. I don't care who Becky talks to. It's none of my business who she talks to. Um, but when I'm supporting you, hey, go get her. But when I'm supporting you and all I hear is about how safe the Discord is, and I haven't seen anything come out of that Discord thus far that's dangerous. There are people in there that I just absolutely do not trust. I do not get along with, and so so Becky decides she's going to bring Savage on as a three host show with her, Savage, and Roxy. Watched it a few times, watched it a couple times, thought it was okay. They seemed to jive okay. And then I started catching little things from Becky and never really spoke up about them, just kept them to myself. And what I noticed was her and Savage basically pushing Roxy out. Now, in defense of Becky, Roxy does have family matters that need tended to. She doesn't have the hours to invest in the BBU or whatever it's called. Oh, she changed the name from Universe to Network. Can probably ask her to do that. So it's no big news that Roxy was fired. What I find really unusual is Keem knew Roxy was fired before anybody else did. Keem knew it. So Becky, I know you talked to Keem and all, but you also know that Becky or Roxy has made it clear that she doesn't want any beef with Keem or Mike or anybody. She doesn't want to go back there. So why would you feel the need to pick up the phone and notify, hey, Sunnyside, and notify Keemstar the minute you fire Roxy? Why would you do that? Why would Keemstar know that you fired a co host before the people that actually send you money knew? Hello, pretty genius. Hello, Bolo. So, okay, whatever goes down between Roxy. Now, I will say that there's a lot of things that I'm tending to believe more coming from Roxy than Becky, because when you put it all together, it just makes more sense what little bit Roxy has said versus the whole lot that Becky has said. Purple Iris. You know, it's one thing that they parted ways. Okay, no big deal. Shit happens. You know. But then for Becky to come into the Discord that she never, ever, ever visited for over a month now, Becky has been in that Discord. She stopped in one time to say, hello, all. You all know I don't like Discord. Then she went on her live stream to say she just doesn't have time for Discord or the drama of it. But she was very chatty in there last night. Well, Glock, he might have mentioned it after Becky made her post, but from the way Becky's original post was to us, it made it sound like a mutual. I mean, Becky admitted it in the Discord. I mean, she basically admitted, yeah, as soon as I let Roxy go, I called Keem and told him that she's free. He can deal with her. Why? Why do that, Becky? Why? But I'll tell you what really tipped me off, what really sent me over the edge. Okay, Becky has hitched her wagon to Savage. Okay. Now, I'm not repeating anything that Becky hasn't already said. Becky wanted a percentage of Roxy's channel. Okay, maybe that's how she does business. Whatever. But do you get that same percentage from Savage's channel? Does Savage fork over that same percentage that you were asking for from Roxy? See, Becky, I'm just going to put it out there. What you've done is you've taken somebody who just wanted to have good, clean fun and discarded them. Okay, but see, you're going based on the Roxy from the LCU, but you're not. I mean, I can honestly sit here and say that Roxy, if she tells you she's going to do something like the sleep stream that her and Savage were going to do together. Okay, it didn't work out. They had to shut it down. But guess what? Roxy came back and made it right. Becky set 3 goals thus far and hasn't followed through on any of them. Raised money for them, hasn't followed in. Well, 4 goals, but I'm hoping one of them was a joke. Yeah, that's after Becky says, I'm going to help her because of all the stuff Roxy's going through in her real life. It was just a very dirty, dirty situation that went down. And I'm more apt to believe Roxy and what little bit she has said versus Becky and a whole lot of what she has said. I mean, Becky complained about the in real life stuff. According to Becky, that just doesn't bring any money. That just doesn't bring any money. Roxy going out to an amusement park or anything like that, it just doesn't bring any money. It brings more money than your partner, fuck Gemini, or thick Gemini. I'm sorry. I usually call him thick fuck. We'll get to him too, because this is Becky's right hand man, is thick Gemini, who doxes, who talks shit in his stream last night, long before Roxy or her sister said anything back. He's over there in his little 12 people stream. Right. They parted ways amicably, but now the mods are discussing all the money part. Ain't nobody know about no money. Thick Gemini thinks he can sit over there to his like a he can talk shit. Chief Queef, I know you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna agree with me on much. So, but that's cool. You're welcome here. So let's see. Becky raised a goal to go to Niagara Falls with Roxy. She in turn raised another goal for a rental car to go on the trip to Niagara Falls that she did not go. Then she did the whole PetSmart thing where she was supposed to go to PetSmart. That didn't happen. And now Becky wants us to believe that she's going to set a goal to go skydiving. Yeah, the in real life. Now, Savage, who Becky has decided is is somehow more trustworthy than Roxy. Now, if you were able to catch Savage stream Friday night, affiliated Rock, which Thick Gemini clearly says he doesn't even think her husband's sick. Now, these are all partners together. I agree, deplorable, but she definitely ain't going to skydive. Okay, I mean, ridiculous. But I think people, if they're donating their money, who's it going to? What's it going to? Her whole let's get Suffa horse to me to go on a date. I right then and there said, I don't think so. I ain't giving you one red fucking cent. So you and Suffa horse can hook up. Where are you gonna go, Becky? You can't go to your house. I mean, stop. So Savage goes live. This is what the whole Roxy Becky thing, that's between them. I know who I choose to believe in the situation. I know what I choose to believe in the situation. And thanks to Becky, I know that I will never blindly support anybody. So that I'm cool with. Thank you, Becky. Because I blindly supported you. I blindly supported you. All the times I saw you get treated like shit over in the LCU, I was there saying, man, this ain't right. This ain't fucking right. And I still don't believe it was right. Hey, Angela's mama. I still don't believe what happened to Savage over there was right. What's with the audio, Bolo? Hold on a minute. Let me refresh. Oh, it's oh, any bad? I hope so. I hate listening to man, man, man. Either way, I'm gonna walk outside. So I don't mean to be a pain in the ass, but it is Sunday afternoon and it's always a little busy. So hold on. Gosh, good golly, Molly. I've refreshed this thing 100 times. So again, back to the Becky and Roxy thing. Um, Roxy spent her fair share of her own money uh, for the real life stuff. Their money situation is really none of my business. Um, it shouldn't be anybody's business, but there's people in the Discord making it everybody's business. But what I really have a problem with was Friday night. They sat over there on Becky's. I went in there. I supported them. They went in there. They had them a good old time. Got them a little booze on. Not much, but enough. They decided they're going to do an after party over on Savage's. Okay, I don't follow Savage. I don't. But I listened to it. What Savage, and Becky was on panel when it went down. What Savage did to Glammy, a former co host over in the LCU. Now, everybody in the Discord wants to fight with me and say it's not real life. But when you bring up somebody and the custody of their children and put out there why they allegedly do or do not have their children, that's real life. Because to the best of my knowledge, Glammy's never talked about her custody situation with her children on a live stream. Glammy's never talked about that. But yet the whole Discord is defending it, saying, oh no, man, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool what Savage and Becky did. It's cool. And then Savage goes on to basically dox the fuck out of another coast over in the LCU. And the whole scripted note shit, I don't care. And you shouldn't, deplorable chicken. You really shouldn't know who has kids, who don't have kids, who has custody, who don't have custody. Right, but we're the problem. Okay, but being a public figure, so tell me this. So you're saying that being a public figure, that happens? Okay, so is it okay for somebody to go on a live stream, show Savage's home, talk about her and her kids' problems? Because I don't think it is. And to get the notice this morning from one of the mods in the Discord and say, if there's any doxing or anything going on, please report it to the mods. You were fucking in the live stream. And if you weren't there, it's been made damn clear by me and a couple others what went on in that live stream. Oh, Savage has done that too. She's gone to somebody's house. And as she said Friday night, that's how they roll. But what really gets me is the person that she was dragging for filth about her children and the reason she doesn't have custody. Savage knows her mental state. Savage knows this. Becky knows it. Savage knows this woman's tendencies and her mental health. Didn't matter. Didn't matter to Savage. Didn't matter to Becky. Now, I will say Becky was drunk and up there just mostly giggling. But she seemed to be enjoying herself. And is that really what you want to hitch your wagon to? Because even Keemstar wouldn't allow that. Although Savage got wrongly terminated from the LCU, she did not go real life by what she allegedly said to Xylee. What she did Friday night was wrong and threatened to do it again because that's how they roll. But then you want to claim your Discord is safe, Becky? You want to claim your Discord is safe when you opened up the gates? No, they would rather sit in there like 12-year-olds and giggle at Tina over on Queens having a nip slip. But they don't like it when I say, "What are you, all 12?" I don't support Tina. As a matter of fact, Tina, don't leave your dog in a hot car, dumbass. But Savage always says, you're going to learn about loss. Remember those words, Becky. So, what were the drunk excuse? Yeah. Remember those words, Becky, because those are some of Savage's favorites. You're going to learn about loss. Yeah, she just put up a video where her and I don't know if she's with Johnny, but they go in the grocery store. Angel's with them. It's like, man, don't leave your dog in a hot fucking car, Tina. Now, maybe Albert was with them. I didn't see that. I didn't hear Albert in it or whatever, but yeah, she left her damn dog in a hot fucking car. Don't do that, Tina. I mean, Tina, as many people that have trolled you to dog shit and back, you think they're not going to pick up the phone and call fucking animal control on you or something? No, Savage hasn't forgotten what Becky did. Not at all. I mean, thank God Angel's okay. But it's still, don't do that. Not cool. Not cool at all. But Savage hasn't forgotten what Becky did. Savage just dragging Becky for filth 2 weeks ago. And if you think Savage's people trust Becky, go back and read Savage's chat from a couple weeks ago and read what her people have to say about Becky. I would break a window to get a dog out. Almost had to in Florida, but luckily the police got there before I could actually break the window. But Becky, what are you going to do now? Because you done hitched your wagon to a real lifer. You think Savage is going to have any problem showing your house when she gets mad at you? Do you think Savage is going to have any bigger of a problem doing to you what she just did to Glammy, Tina, and Twig? Because you're sadly mistaken. Becky, if you think it's cool that that fat fuck Gemini sits over on his channel, talks finances, none of that should be talked about. Talks finances, talks about a supporter, and well, a couple of your supporters. I don't care what the fat fuck said about me. He's been on YouTube for 10 years and he's just barely broke 1,000 subs. And the funny thing is, if Keem was to dangle just one little carrot in his face, Jim and I'd be over there with all your shit, Becky. All your shit. But whatever. It's neither here nor there. I don't fear Gemini, although Gemini has doxed. I don't fear that my shit's going to be dug into by him or whatever. Savage is people and Savage, I'm not much worried about it. What more can she do? She put my kid's picture on her fucking community post for no reason other than the fact I was beefing with her friend. But other people, watch your shit. Because if you think there ain't people in that Discord taking screenshots, taking voice clips for Savage to keep in her back pocket, you're nuttier than a fucking fruit. But you can't talk about it in there because then you get accused of attacking. You get accused of attacking. Savage never shows up in the Discord until until I'm timed out. Then boom, she pops up. I'm gonna have a talk about with Becky about her. She followed me. No, bitch, no, I didn't follow you anywhere. GFN09, no. It was so many years ago, no. I don't have a post of it. But it happened. And anybody in the drama community will tell you it happened. But minus that, I'm not worried about Savage. I personally am not worried about Savage. She does not move me one iota. See, Sunnyside remembers. I'm not scared of Troll Investigates. Bolo remembers. I'm not scared of Troll Investigates. I'm not scared of Flava. I'm not scared. But remember how scared, how afraid Becky was of Flava. How she made such a big deal about Flava, but yet Flava is in her Discord. Oh, I like H3. It's like when Savage went over and lied to Keemstar's face. You know, I don't really follow Bombshell. I did in the past. I don't anymore. Like I said, I've kind of broke away from that whole community. But Savage went over there saying that Bombshell stalked her. And no, bitch. Bombshell went over there because you were running your mouth about her. Because people kept threatening you with Bombshell. That's why Bombshell went over to the LCU and was never allowed to speak her side of the story. The Bombshell didn't go to your house, Savage. You went to Bombshell's house and filmed it. So you can say that Bombshell's this real lifer, and she may be, but she didn't go to your fucking house rolling four deep. Right, Bolo. Well, Savage blocked me from Milkers, anyways, and then Keen turned around and blocked me from Milkers when I sent a super chat saying that only certain people can be racist. Yeah. Savage admitted she's done real life stuff. She tried to lie to King, but she knew it was probably better just to come clean about it because people were going to start sending Keem all this bullshit. Not me. I have no contact with Keemstar. Wouldn't have a clue how to get in contact with him. Don't want to get in contact with him. But now she wants to put in Becky's Discord that I stalk and harass her. No, bitch. I was there when you went over to the LCU sniffing Tina's panties trying to get in over there. And because Mike Green is who Mike Green is, he thought, oh, this will be good. I can have Savage torture Tina. This will be great content. Right. But Savage said she changed. She wasn't doing that stuff no more. But then she had her live stream Friday. She ain't changed a fucking lick. To dox where a man works. Now, she didn't come right out and give the address, but she gave all the landmarks around it and what shop and where it sits on what street. Because that's how they roll. That's what Savage will tell you. That's how we roll over here. You've your to Becky. I ain't never seen Savage give you a fucking dime, Becky. But I've seen Gamers Asylum give you support you. But yet your partner, thick fuck over there, gets to sit up on his panel and call out Gamers Asylum, one of your supporters that has supported you and Roxy and the LCU quite deeply. I might have only been a $20, $25 a night a stream supporter 5 times a week. That's what, four, $500 a month, whatever it comes out to be. You know, what, 100? I don't know, $100 a week, 400 or 500 a month, whatever. That was my extent of supporting. So I'm not a big loss to Becky. But you're going to start seeing people drop like flies, Becky, is what's going to happen. And that's a shame because I do think you're talented. I think you're lazy, but I think you're talented. When you get up there and tell people you can't be bothered with Discord, you're just working so hard, you're exhausting yourself, but you spend 7 hours on the phone with a supporter. But keep supporting me, keep throwing me money. But that all changed when Roxy got fired. Becky decided she was going to go into the Discord. Becky says Lebrowski's coming on to her universe. How's he going to feel about this relationship you have with Keemstar? Hell, a 911 call gets put out, a police report gets put out that Mike Green was arrested for domestic violence. And what's Becky do? She picks up the phone and calls Mike and asks him how he's doing. I think he's fine. He ain't the one that's calling the police and running down the street. I swear that guy said he had a girlfriend too. Who? Oh, Thick Gemini? I don't know. I can't stand the fat fuck. I think he's boring. Like I told him in the Discord, go crack another fucking egg over your head. Because that's his content. When the whole leaked script thing came out, yeah, I eyed it. And then I thought, no, now I'm not so sure. When Keemstar gets word of Roxy's firing before anybody else gets it, what else is Becky talking to Keemstar about? Roxy's already gone. Roxy's gone. Just go ask Keemstar. He announced it. The fact that they parted company, parted ways, like I said, whatever. It's business. Shit happens. But when you set up on a panel and say that you're doing all of this stuff so that you can help Roxy, because Roxy's life is, a little messy right now with a sick husband and unemployed and everything. But then you want to totally humiliate her because she picked up her phone and looked and was texting with her husband who is unable downstairs and shit. But according to Thick Gemini, Roxy's line, her husband isn't even sick. Now, why would he say that? I saw a clip Gemini put out, Becky saying she fell for it. So Roxy is, distracted with her family life and everything. Roxy wants to do in real life content. Becky says it doesn't bring money. Becky's words, not mine. Becky says that the in real life content doesn't bring money. The Niagara Falls, the amusement park, all that, it doesn't bring money. What brings money, Becky? Because the goals you set, you don't follow through on. She's like, I'm the one that sits up on that panel. I'm the one that hustles all of those donations. It didn't look that way the night that Roxy was at the fair. It didn't look that way. It looked like people legitimately donating to watch Roxy ride those rides, play those games, eat a fucking corn dog, whatever. True, Bella Grace. But I'll tell you who I believe Becky is loyal to, and that's Keemstar. Now, Becky says, you got to keep an open. I've worked in the professional world. Okay. Um, you got to keep. Yeah, I don't have to go around dogging my old bosses. I don't have to do that, and I don't expect Becky to. But this open line of communication that you and Keemstar have, Becky, is fucking weird. It's fucking weird. And it's even more weird that Keemstar has no desire to shut your shit down, but he had Link shut down. He had the crazy ass Thorpe shut down. He took their channels away from them. But yet Savage can sit over there on her panel and say the shit that she has said about Keem and his people in his universe, and he ain't fucked with Savage. Tell me you ain't working with Keem without fucking telling me you were working with Keem. And that's okay. Hey, Red Feather, be honest about it. Be honest about it. You know, Becky said, I offered her a show with her sisters, and Roxy said no. No, let's get that straight. Roxy didn't say no. Her sisters said no. They don't want to work for you, Becky. And since we're going to discuss money because it's in basically a public Discord, $1.99, you can go in there and read everything you want until tomorrow. I think you got to pay 5. It is the same as the LCU now. There's nothing different. Everything Becky complained about, how King treated her so badly. I watched her do it to Roxy on a stream the other night. Roxy can't look at her phone, but Becky can shave her fucking cat. Totally just walk away from her computer and her headphones and everything and attempt to shave her cat while other people are carrying the show. Roxy and Savage are carrying the show. Becky, just fucking be honest, man. Just be honest. Uh, Sab's on her phone too, but Becky ain't gonna talk to Savage the way she spoke to Roxy. She ain't gonna do it. And now that she's knee deep into this, she better not do it. But if you think for 1 minute that Savage on a live stream gets a text message from her husband or one of her grandbabies that she ain't going to respond to it, you lost your mind, Becky. But I bet you won't call it out. Bet you won't call it out. I don't blame you. Because if you think Savage's people aren't in your Discord getting every fucking thing, screenshotting, voice clipping, everything, you're crazy, Becky. You're crazy. Yes, Red Feather. Did I see how much effort Roxy was putting into her personal streams compared to? No, I felt like Roxy was given. Did Roxy have an off night the other night? Yeah, she was blindsided. She was blindsided by the whole Mike in the show notes thing. I would have. I'm still questioning whether it's true or not. Roxy don't want beef with Keem or Mike, but she's made it clear she doesn't want to work with them. She doesn't want to work for them. Hello, William. So, like I said, Becky, I personally think you have hitched your wagon to a couple people that's going to burn your ass. As soon as you try to be an authoritative figure like you were to Roxy, they're going to burn you, Becky. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I see what you're saying, GFNO, but I can tell you that I feel like that Roxy, Becky won't even get up out of her chair half the time to do their little dances, but Roxy does. And then the one time Roxy doesn't feel like getting up, come on, Roxy, get up, participate. Fuck you, Becky. Yeah, I'm the boss. I work so hard. But you got 7 hours to sit on the phone with the supporter. And I got to be honest with you, with the whole script thing, if it was meant to cause a divide, good job. Good job, folks. It worked. I saw a whole different side of Becky. Doesn't mean she's not talented. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I think Becky has some of the coolest comebacks, little quick comebacks. But after what I seen happen on Savage's panel the other night, and Becky was sitting there the whole time, it makes me question you, Becky. I'm sorry. Roxy's come out saying, "Look, I don't want any bad blood. I couldn't fulfill what Becky required. I, you know, I, Roxy's sister, she did pop off in the live stream the other night, but it was after Gemini, thick fuck over there, was popping off about Roxy and her family and how much money she made on milkers and how she thinks Roxy got paid but Savage didn't. Shit, she knows my bad, don't mean to misgender him. Something he knows nothing about or shouldn't know anything about. Do I think it naturally happened? I think it naturally happened. If it's manufactured, then it's manufactured between Becky and Keemstar. No one calls out the scamming. No, I just did. But you have to remember, we heard all about how Roxy didn't follow through with the sleep stream. Savage wanted that stream to end just as bad as Roxy did. Roxy made what, a grand over there on that sleep stream or whatever she ended up making up for it. What did Savage do to make up for her part in the stream ending? Oh, I'm telling you right now. If Keemstar was to wave a couple $1,000 in front of oh fuck Jim and or thick fuck, he'd give Keem. I watched him unfold. He got kicked out of the LCU Discord for being a shit starter. And then he comes back dropping money everywhere. Keen, let me back in. I'm sorry. Keen, let me back in. Here's 5 gifted memberships. And Keen, but he wants to tell me he can show me text messages where Keem has begged him to come back and do milkers. I bet you can, buddy. Lying fat fuck. Trust me, if Keem wanted you back, he could buy your broke ass back real quick. Now let's see if I get banned because I'm talking about one of Becky's or a couple of Becky's partners because they can all sit in there. Thick fuck can go live, talk about me, talk about Gamers Asylum, supporters of Becky's, a lot more than Thick Gemini supports. Hey, Keemstar, if you ever get wind of this, drop a thick fuck over there a couple grand and see how quick he'll drop you everything you want that he has from Becky and or Roxy and or Savage. You think Savage trust Thick Gemini? Savage might be a real lifer. She might go low blows that nobody should go. She don't trust that motherfucker. Savage is not stupid. Although you would think the way she talks sometimes she is. But Savage ain't forgetting that. Hey, Venom. I was a big supporter of Becky's. And I still. I'm not saying don't support Becky. I'm saying Becky needs to come out and be honest with the people that do support her. That's what I'm saying. Just come out and be honest. And if you want to act like Becky, you're this professional, then act it. Don't be dropping shit in a Discord that's nobody's fucking business. No, I supported Becky even after Savage joined. Her last live stream Friday, Savage was on panel. I'm sending super chats. Like I said, I made up my mind when Becky said she was bringing Savage on. Okay, I'm not going to disrupt Becky's chats or anything else because of Savage. As of Friday night, I don't give a fuck because Savage has not changed. Why'd you put it on members only, Sav? Stand 10 toes down on that shit. Stand 10 toes down, Savage. Because that's how you roll. But when that live popped up Friday night, now Savage had already said on Becky's, hey, join us for the after party over on my panel. I never dreamed. Yeah, I figured Savage would drag some of the people in the LCU. She has every right to drag some of them. Some of them fucked her pretty hard. But what you don't have the right to do is to get up on your panel and discuss an ex co host, an ex counter employee. You don't have the right to discuss her children, her custody, or the reason why her custody is in the situation it is. And I'll tell you why you don't have that right, Savage. Because she has never discussed it. But everybody in the Discord, oh, I don't think she went real life. I don't think that's real life. Okay. Okay. Well, then when Savage's picture of her house gets dropped, or her kids get talked about, or her relationship with her daughter, or her son, or her grandchildren, it ain't real life. It ain't real life. Just remember that. Keep that energy. And that's what I told him in the Discord. Keep that fucking energy. You think Flava trusts fucking Becky. How did Savage find out about the kid thing? I believe there were personal conversations that went on at Fat Camp. And yeah, Savage has every right to be mad about Fat Camp. Not that she didn't get drunk, not that she didn't show her puss, because I believe she did. I don't believe she's the only one that did. And I damn sure don't think that that whole entire universe should have talked about it the way that they did. I thought it was disgusting what they did to Savage as far as that whole getting drunk, showing your puss thing. Yeah. And if you think that what Savage did was okay and that it's not doxing, then I, maybe I have to rethink who you are. And the sad thing is Becky has some really good people in her Discord. She really does. Yes, Flava is the one that has been convicted of arson. We all know this. Becky screamed it out on her panel. I already knew about it. Remember when Flava was coming for Becky because of what Becky did to Flava? How Becky pitched a fit saying, I can't go to Fat Camp because, well, you're all associating with Flava. You know, when Becky was finding every excuse in the world to not go to Fat Camp, and I never understood why she just couldn't say, Keem, I'm not going to Fat Camp, into conversation. Oh, I know why. According to Keem, if it's true, Keem didn't think Becky deserved to be paid if she wasn't at Fat Camp. I kind of agree with that. But Becky shows up. You'll remember that's what led into the whole Wings thing because Wings let out the script that Keem and them paid for Becky to come to Fat Camp. No, I'm sure Pirate doesn't trust Becky. No. And Pirate and Savage and Flava, they roll deep together. So for Becky to even think for 1 minute that Savage trusts her or that she can trust Savage, you know what? It's all going to implode. It's all going to implode. And when it does, I can honestly say, I tried to tell you, somebody that has no ill will, that has done nothing but support your channel and defend you when I felt like you were being done wrong. Whatever, Becky. Whatever. You know, it's going to be sad, but in the meantime, Keen's got his alternate universe that he wanted, and Becky's bringing in the money. So for Keem and Becky, it's a win-win thing. No, Becky didn't want to talk about the whole Mike situation. You know what she said about the Mike situation? Well, I did call Mike to see how he was doing. Well, I don't know. He ain't the one that allegedly got slapped in the mouth and ran down the street crying, calling the police. I think he's okay. I think he's okay. You might want to pick up the phone and call Bridget. Maybe she didn't want to talk about the whole Mike situation. She doesn't want that negativity on her channel. She wants it to be positive vibes. But then you hook your wagon to Savage? You can't have it both ways there, Becky. You can't have good, positive vibes when you run over and sit on a panel. Did you hear supposedly someone struck Gemini? Why would anybody strike Gemini's channel? There's like 12 people watching him. But if they did, it's probably because Gemini's sitting up there running their mouth about something they shouldn't be running their mouth about. Gemini should not be telling finances and shit over there. Not cool. Not cool. Because that tells me Becky has either shared shit with Gemini or Gemini's lying. One of the two. Not cool either way. Xylee struck me. Xylee struck my community post. But yet I'm supposed to sit in a Discord and take lip with somebody called 1-800 Xylee Craig, who's only had an account for a day or two. But the Discord's safe, you all. It's safe. We check people out. We make sure that you know, they're not out doing bad stuff on the YouTube. Bullshit. Bullshit. And like I said, we'll see how excited Lebrowski is when he finds out the true connection between Becky and Keemstar. Because it's going to look kind of funny for Lebrowski to be doing reaction videos to Keemstar, but yet he's in the same universe with somebody that is closely connected to Keemstar. It's going to be funny. And then for them to announce that, oh, let's get Kyrie. Wait a minute. Kyrie, that sounds familiar. That was Brantley's friend that was at Fat Camp and then got banned from the LCU. Becky, are you going to chase your fucking tail and go after people that Keemstar has done banned? Is that what you're going to do? Because as you can see, it's not working for Keemstar. He even admitted it himself on his live stream. No more fan host. So you're going to chase people that Keemstar has banned? Okay. Yeah, I know, Sage. But see, I think Lebrowski is under the impression that Becky is totally severed any ties with Keemstar. And Becky has openly admitted she is not. She is not. And trust me, there's proof out there. And it's just a matter to see how things see how they roll out here in the next few days or week or so. Because I'm not afraid to put the proof out. I'll do it. I don't have a dog in this fight. Other than the money that I've sunk into Becky, I don't have a dog in this fight. As a matter of fact, I pretty much learned my lesson over again for blindly following somebody. I won't do that anymore. But I watched the whole shit go down with Roxy. And I must say, on this, if I had to say who's being more honest on the whole Roxy thing between Roxy and Becky, it's Roxy. And what I'd really like to know is since, it's been made public that Becky wanted 10% of Roxy's earnings from her own channel, because, that takes away from Becky's channel somehow. Does she get the same 10% from Savage? I'd like that. Show that, Becky. Show your people in good faith that Savage is giving you 10% of her channel earnings like you expected from Roxy. No problem, Bolo, because you know me. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't have to like you, dislike you, or nothing else. But what I've seen go down these last couple days, it's not what's being put out there. I don't agree. I don't think Savage would ever agree to that either, Red Feather. But that's what was expected of Roxy. And I'm not telling any secrets because it's already been put out there. Well, if Roxy struck Gemini's channel, then that's on Gemini. He shouldn't be up there running his mouth about shit he knows nothing about. I mean, I'm not a striker. I don't like to follow through with all the rigmarole you got to do to strike somebody. I don't like doing all the paperwork. It ain't worth it to me. Just like I didn't fuck with Xylee when she struck my community post. I called her a puss. Yes, thank you, Bolo, very much. I thought I said thank you, but if I didn't, thank you again. Tracy, you got a super chat. Somebody has that on their thing. I think you got a super chat. I don't know if Roxy struck Gemini or not. I don't know. I don't care if she did because Gemini should not be on his channel talking Roxy's finances and shit, saying that King paid Roxy but didn't pay Savage. You think Savage would really let that slide? Do you really think Savage would just sit back and say, "Yeah, go ahead, just give my share to Roxy"? Get the fuck out of here. But I never seen Roxy put her finances out there publicly. So Gemini's coming either pulling this shit out of his fat ass or he's talking about shit he shouldn't be talking about, which is Roxy's finances and Roxy's family and saying that her husband isn't even really sick. Because I would never, ever get on a bandwagon to say somebody's lying about their sick family or whether they have custody of their children or not. So I don't know if Roxy struck Gemini or not. I don't really care. I don't like the punk ass bitch. Never have. Watched him. Watched him work his moves over in the LCU, begging Keemstar, "Let me come back. Here's 5 gifted memberships, Keem. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Keem. Let me back in. Let me back in." You know what? As many trolls as Keemstar has in his fucking Discord, he couldn't even tolerate that dude's fat ass. Yes, the in real life stuff is. And what really makes it worse is Savage knows that the person she attacked is not a stable person. And I said it before and I'll say it again. I'd really hate for my words to be what pushed somebody over the fucking edge. So I'm going to get off here. I just wanted to say what I had to say. I do know that Roxy invested her own money in her own real life stream. So if that comes out, whatever. I do know that Roxy does not want to go back and forth with Becky. Um, I hope that's not Becky's plan, is for her and Savage to get up on a panel and drag Roxy for filth, because Red Feather, I think they do. I mean, I don't. Oh, look, it's raining and it's sun shining. There's going to be a rainbow, Maggie. I don't know if you have to counter the strike in order to get people's information or whatever. Ah, thank you, Rachel. Like I said, Becky, I'm asking you to be straight up honest with your supporters. I'm not asking you to break any NDA or anything like that. I'm asking you to be honest with your supporters. And I don't think that's a bad I don't think that's a tough thing to ask, Becky. I really don't. I really don't. And I absolutely want to tell you, Becky, when the whole Savage thing or Thick Gemini bites you in the ass, people that really did support you, people that really did have faith in you, warned you. They warned you. Hey, Roxy. I don't know if I can listen to it right. Can you text it to me, Roxy, if it's something that I need to say? I don't know. Like I said, I have talked to Roxy. Roxy has no desire to go back and forth with Becky, back and forth with Becky. No desire. But as a reasonable human being that has supported Becky since day one, and I didn't always support Roxy, I can honestly say that I'm believing Roxy in this mess. And that's just going by the little bit that Roxy has said, which hasn't been much. And if you want to hold it against Roxy for what her sister said in her defense, then remember Gemini was spreading shit on his channel before Lala ever opened her mouth. Oh. So I'm being told that it wasn't Roxy that struck his channel. He's just being the drama queen that he is. You know, it's thick fuck. It's thick fuck. He's a drama queen who cracks eggs on his head for 12 people. And if you ever sent him something before he was monetized to his coffee fund or whatever, let's just say he's been known to read your name out loud on a live stream. Maybe not even purposely. But you probably don't have to worry about that anymore since he's monetized. Either way, I think it's a mutual agreement between the two of them. That ship has sailed and will never reunite. Well, I thought it was a mutual agreement, and from what Roxy said, it was a mutual agreement. But Becky has pretty much made it. She's the boss. She fired Roxy. Um, that maybe it wasn't so mutual as it, I saw it coming. I saw when Becky started that shit. Well, we're going to give Roxy a week off. But what happened to that? What happened to that? What happened to that week off so Roxy could deal with whatever she needed to deal with? It went straight from a week off to, oh, I fired Roxy. Becky, be honest, man. You expect people to pay your wage, pay your way in life, give you donations and shit, and you're turning out to be just like Keemstar, your hero. The difference is Keem is so much bigger than you'll ever be, Becky. And I'm not saying that to be mean. Keem has a lot of history on this platform. And I understand, Becky, why you don't go against him. but your relationship with him is very questionable. I get why you don't go up against Keemstar. I understand that totally. But your relationship with him is very questionable. And if you're going to hide behind this alleged NDA, and I'm not saying that you didn't have to sign an NDA, I don't believe for 1 minute you signed a different NDA than Roxy. I don't think you were any more important or special to Keemstar than anybody else in his universe. You know, you made Keem a lot of money, of course. He'd probably, I don't know if he'd take you back, Becky, because so many people would flip on him if he did. So, what better way, Becky, if he won't take you back? Wouldn't it be better just to cut all ties, just to end it peacefully? Say, hey, Keem, no hard feelings. Thank you for the opportunity. Kind of like Roxy did. Thank you for the opportunity. But you won't do it, Becky. And when you throw shit like that out there on your panel, you think your supporters don't question that? You think somebody like Lebrowski is not going to question that? I don't know, Becky. I don't know. I don't know. I question it. I totally understand why Becky doesn't want to go up against him. I get it. But why she maintains the relationship with him that she does, open communication, why would Becky feel the need to contact Keemstar and say, I just fired Roxy? When Roxy has made it clear she has no hard feelings towards Keem, she or anybody really in the LCU. She doesn't want to go back there. But Becky felt the need to pick up the phone and notify Keemstar, hey, I just fired Roxy. She's on the market again. Why? Why be a snaky bitch like that, Becky? And you did it because you admitted to it. I don't understand. Yeah, her and Keem talk about each other all the time. Becky was a moneymaker for Keemstar. But Keemstar knows to have Becky back after the whole fat camp shit would rock his universe. He would have hosts that threatened to quit. I don't know if they really would quit or not, but he would have supporters that would just go in on him. You know, I feel the same way. If Roxy was just to up and blindside me, you know, after she has pretty much announced that no hard feelings, but she just can't work for Keemstar. She can't, you know, her life won't allow those demands. It got more stressful than it was fun. If Roxy up and hooked up with Keemstar again, you think I wouldn't lose my shit? It sucks because I couldn't stand Becky. She actually grew on me. Yeah. See, and I'm totally different. I always liked Becky from jump. She's very quick witted. She's very good behind a microphone. Is there stuff she should tame down? Yeah, but whatever. Who am I to tell her how to do her entertainment? You know, the whole Keem wants to fuck her thing. He wants to fuck you all right, but not like you're thinking there, Beck. And I still find Becky entertaining. I'm not going to sit here and say that I won't ever listen to her or be a part of her universe if I'm still allowed after this. I don't know. But Roxy said straight up, it wasn't her that didn't want her and her sisters to be a part of Becky's show. It was her sisters that didn't want to. They're not interested in working for Becky. All they want to do is help their sister. Why is that a hard? Why? I mean, to me, that's like, okay, cool, I get it. Yeah, I'm so over all the sex talk and shit. And then you got Gidgy over there on Queens, who basically is, and pretty much admitted it, drunk the other night, that she's doing her best to replicate Becky. Well, there's only one Becky. I just don't like to have the wool pulled over my eyes. Although I can't blame anybody but myself. You know, I don't like the wool pulled over my eyes, and I feel like Becky has, in a way, pulled the wool over my eyes, and I don't like that. Not when I've been there since day one, had your back, supported you financially, with my mouth, with my text, everything. I don't like the wool pulled over my eyes. I don't like it. And because I can't really, I totally see Roxy's situation very differently than you. Hello, Mrs. Fletcher. That's okay. It's okay to see it differently. You could be right and I could be wrong. Or I could be right and you could be wrong. Or we could both be right and we could both be wrong. I'm cool with that. I'm only going on my, you know, YouTube relationship because I am by far not a parasocial motherfucker. I ain't calling nobody daddy. I ain't calling nobody queen. You ain't gonna see me set in Becky's Discord. Oh, the queen is here. No, Becky's here. But you don't have to worry about that because Becky only visits her Discord, well, last night. Yes, Roxy got terminated. And again, that's okay. That's okay that Roxy got terminated. But what's gone down prior to and after is not okay. And I have to say, I cannot support and will not support Savage. And Savage don't give a fuck. Savage don't care that I don't like her. She don't give a fuck. Now, she did lie in the Discord and say I followed her and am stalking and harassing her. Bitch, I ain't never followed you nowhere. I was over in the LCU before you. I'm the one that split off and went with Becky. You're the one that sat on your panel dragging Becky for filth, showing her house, every fucking thing else. So don't call me the stalker. Don't call me the stalker, Savage. I just really would like to know what Savage's motive is because Savage will not forget. Will not forget. And I'm sure Savage's people, her diehards, like Pirate, like T-Pack, they're telling her, girl, don't forget. Don't forget. Well, I don't like Savage. And like I said, after Friday night stream, and if she really stood on it, if she really felt like she didn't do anything wrong, she wouldn't put it behind a paywall. So she really don't stand 10 toes down like she says. But that's all right. I got it. I know what was said. I know what was done. Becky knows what was said. Becky knows what was done. Becky's mods in Discord, they know what was said, they know what was done. And if that's how Becky wants to roll, I'm not rolling with her on that. Hello, Rage Arts and Crafts. Yeah, Rachel, a lot of people got it. A lot of people got it before Savage put it private. I know Twiggy was fully aware of it because he was the one that was being doxed out the buttocks. Because that's how they roll. This is where Twiggy works. It's on this street. This is where he works. This is what he does. But that ain't real life, people. According to Becky's Discord and Savage and her people, that ain't real life. Whatever. Again, Becky, if that's what you want to hit your wagon to, when it bites you in your ass, then sit back and remember, damn, man, I had some supporters that tried to tell me. And since you can run your mouth about 10% of Roxy's channel, why don't you show proof of where Savage is giving you 10% of her channel? Because, I mean, it's only fair, right, Becky? Why don't you show proof where Gemini is giving you 10% of his channel, which would only amount to about $1.22. So I get it for not really caring about that. But all of this shit has come out of Becky's mouth. Yes. Savage went live, told the street that Twiggy's employment sits on, gave landmarks all around it, told his profession, which Twiggy has said on live stream what he does. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if Becky knows what she's gotten herself into either. But let me put it in Savage's words. She's gonna learn what loss is. You gonna learn, Becky, what loss is. That ain't coming from me. That's coming from Savage. So, guys, support Becky, support Roxy, support Savage, support Keemstar, support whoever in the fuck you want. But stand up and say something when something's happening that's just wrong. You can be a supporter and be honest. With that, I'm out of here. Y'all have a great Sunday evening. I'm going to tune into some of my true crime. No, not true crime people, not the community, because it's just as rank. But hit me some law, what is it? Um, Court TV and all that stuff. I heard that guy, that Steven Stearns, took a plea deal, kind of like the old Brian Kohlberger shit. So I want to catch up on that. But Becky, I'll give you credit. You opened my eyes. You opened my eyes for defending and going hard for somebody blindly. So for that, girl, I thank you. And good luck. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good evening.